The New York Post cover today, tidal wave alarm. Cities in every contiguous state getting ready for the federal government to allow thousands of mostly unvetted people to fan out across America. A new op-ed keying in on the chaos in El Paso. Here's a look at that video again. We showed you that overrun facility. The headline says the city's migrant state of emergency is a taste of what nation faces as Biden shrugs at border crisis. He shrugs at this. Sheriff Mark Dannels of Cochise County, Arizona, Lieutenant Chris Olivarez from the Texas Department of Public Safety. Let's start in Cochise County right now, where the drugs are flowing in such a manner, Sheriff Dannels, that gets less talk about, you know, in terms of our coverage right now, because we don't have as many people coming across. But fentanyl, oh my goodness, like never before.
Harris, good morning. Let me just say that hours ago, I was on a scene where there was death, there was fentanyl, there was smuggling, there was assault on my deputies. That was just several hours ago, smuggling from the border into our communities. And talking to my deputy that was trying to save a guy's life when another car came by and hit that individual, that smuggler, and killed him. So again, this goes on every day in Cochise County where we're dealing with smuggling. We deal with the human smuggling part of it, the drugs, you name it, we're seeing it. And what we don't see is prioritization from President Biden, Congress. All I hear is the blame game. Well, it's that person, this person, we're not doing that, we're not doing that. And the acknowledgement we have a problem on this border. Harris, we have a problem on our southwest border.
Well, look, we do 1,933 miles of it, and we're looking right now at Texas. The background video that you see there pulling into focus is from our exclusive look that we got when I was with Lieutenant Olivarez in that Del Rio, Texas, just a short few weeks ago, right as the fiscal year was ending. Lieutenant Olivarez, first of all, how much worse has it gotten since you and I did the nighttime ride-along that we did and saw so many people dressed in camo trying to sneak their way in?
Right. Good morning, Harrison. Thanks for having me on. Great to be with you. So, of course, you saw it firsthand when you were out there with us. You saw not just the work that our troopers are doing on private ranches trying to apprehend illegal immigrants that are trying to circumvent checkpoints, but also the human smuggling. You got to witness firsthand human smugglers actually smuggling illegal immigrants further into our country. And since then, Harris, there's been a significant increase in human smuggling, especially in the Del Rio sector. And also, I just want to touch on what the sheriff mentioned about as far as drugs. One thing, Harris, that's very concerning to us as a state is the fact that when Title 42 is lifted, we're going to see a mass flow of migration that we've never seen before in years, historic years. I mean, what we're seeing right now is historic, right? But it's kind of hard to put into words how much worse can they get. But even Congressman Gonzalez had mentioned there's going to be a hurricane of mass, illegal migration taking place. But when that takes place, the cartels, Mexican cartels, use that to their advantage. You know that the distraction is going to be the fact that all the focus is going to be on these mass groups that are coming across our borders, and it's going to leave miles and miles of borders unpatrolled, where there's no enforcement action being taken. So that's a concern right now as far as the drugs and human smuggling is going to take place.
Thank you. Let me just step in right there because I want to bring back Sheriff Dannels for just a moment, because you two could almost talk to each other about this, because you brought up the very next point for me, Lieutenant Olivarez, and that is what happens when everybody's concentrated on where the people are trying to cross illegally and just coming in a wave to Nogales, for instance, where the drugs have reached a point now of epic proportions. Let's pop that up on the screen while I ask Sheriff Dannels about how do you deal with this. I mean, look at those numbers. The fiscal year just ended. And, I mean, nearly 1 million pounds, 22 pounds of fentanyl powder from smugglers were just taken. Customs and Border Protection has seized more than 14,000 pounds of fentanyl in all of fiscal year 2022. That's up by 10,000. I mean, how can you handle that, Sheriff?
Well, it's how can America handle that, Harris?
Amen.
And the fact that we continue to see a slippery slope in our country as a result of the southwest border not being prioritized by this administration and President Biden. What I keep hearing is we don't have a problem, number one, per the administration. We know that's a false narrative. Number two is this, is as long as we keep ignoring it, it's only going to get worse in America. We have to prioritize our border. Remember the oath of office I take, our governors take, mayors take, and our president take. We need to protect this country. Right now, we're not doing it. We have to work together, Harris. And until we do that, until we recognize there's a problem in Washington, D.C., where Washington says, hey, we got to do something better. Acknowledge it. We can do it better. We can fix this problem. But right now, I don't see any hope right now.
This is my first opportunity to talk with you since what we saw last week. American police officers now trying to handle crime situations. Fentanyl is so pervasive, it's everywhere. And we saw an officer have to be treated 3 times with a drug to prevent her death from coming into contact with somebody who had fentanyl substance on them. What are the dangers now to protect the residents of America? Sheriff.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were talking. Sorry. Well, first of all, we got to acknowledge it. We have to acknowledge it, Harris, that there is a problem. When you're losing 300 Americans a day for a drug overdose or poisoning, and we're not even acknowledging that, and it just amazes me. My 38 years I've been doing this, I just can't imagine our elected leaders nationally are not saying, let's come together, let's engage with sheriffs, mayors, governors, troopers, let's fix this problem, because we can fix it if we work together. But until we do that, I'm very worried.
Well, I pray for our law enforcement and our Border Patrol and what they're doing in Texas and Arizona every day. The action that's being taken, though, isn't enough for our Border Patrol. And I want to go back to Lieutenant Olivarez. You introduced me to so many of our great men and women with Texas DPS and Border Patrol down in your state. And when I read about the suicides now that are happening because there's so much, they're just overwhelmed with Border Patrol. What does that look like on the ground, Lieutenant?
Well, you know, Harris, we try to provide as much support as we can to Border Patrol. I mean, I'm out there, I try to be out there as much as I can every single day, working with them, alongside them, and also try to capture the work that they're doing, because a lot of it, obviously, they're not allowing media access, not showing the work that's being done by Border Patrol. So we try to go out there and capture that and show the great work they're doing day in and day out, trying to protect the front lines. But they don't get enough support. They don't get enough credit for what they do. Yeah. And of course, I mean, they're doing amazing work right now in conjunction with what we're doing as far as a state. But they need all the support they can get right now. We talk about the drugs, we talk about the criminals that are coming across, and how this situation is going to get much worse. And how the sheriff mentioned that we all need to come together and protect this country. And of course, Border Patrol needs the support. They need to get the credit from the federal government that they need, and they're not getting that. They're not being acknowledged.
Well, they are going to send money.
Well, yeah, they're going to send money, but that's all that's going to do, Harris. All it's going to do is process these individuals more and get them out into the country faster. It's not going to stop the problem. It's not going to solve the situation. So, and one thing I want to touch on, just recently, a Texas judge ruled in favor of the state of Texas so the federal government can actually re-implement the Mexico policy. So that is perfect timing. But again, you know, are they going to do it? That's a question that remains to be seen, because they have not acknowledged the fact that we have a crisis on this situation right now.
I want to thank you both. It is so important that you bring us the stories from where they're happening. And Sheriff Dannels, you speak with so much wisdom. If we can't come together on protecting our nation's sovereignty, we've got real big problems in this country. But we can solve them. It is still the greatest country on the planet. Good to see you both. Thank you very much. God bless you for the work that you do.
Thank you, Harris. Merry Christmas.
Thank you, Harris.
Too.
Hey everyone, I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kaylee McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, or set your DVR. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page for daily highlights.